All right. Thank you so much to WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman taking time out of his very busy schedule as he angles toward the start of the WBC convention in Acapulco, Mexico, starting November 5th, correct, Mauricio, or November 6th?
Yeah, we have some of the committee members and the board of governors arriving from the 4th. We have a nice fishing, deep sea fishing, and golf on Sunday, the 6th, and then the opening cocktail that night on the 6th, and the grand opening Monday, November 7th in Acapulco.
Oh, sounds good. It's really I've covered one before in Florida. It's very interesting how you guys go about making the boxing rankings and some of the discussions you have about the health and safety and welfare of the boxers and some of the other issues that you take on. Again, not to kind of toot your horn here, but I mean, I think that the WBC does have the reputation as being the most responsible of the sanctioning bodies, and I'm sure that that's something you have a lot of pride over, that you have the welfare of the boxers deep in your heart.
Yes, the WBC was formed with a purpose, and it is to be always with the fighter before, during, and after the championship years, the days of glory. And the WBC has changed the sport in the last 60 years tremendously, with research, with studies, with medical, completely dedication to see what can be done. That's how fights were before, 15 rounds, now there are 12. The weigh-in is one day before instead of the day of the fight, which prevents the extreme dehydration. And there's so many rules that have been changed. We take that with pride, but there is never enough. We need to continue looking on how to prevent injuries in the ring, how to teach fighters and trainers on the dangers of substances and different things that they don't really know. But it's a great sport, and we're committed to always making it better and safer.
Great, great. And I know, like, on any given day, you have so many decisions and so many things running across your desk there. And I know one of the things now is on the heels of Deontay Wilder's very impressive comeback victory, his first round knockout of Robert Helenius. He basically elevates himself back in the position to get close to another title shot against the champion Tyson Fury. Can you tell us what you've decided to do with Deontay Wilder on the heels of that triumph?
Sure. The WBC did sanction 2 fights as elimination bouts. It was Andy Ruiz against King Kong Ortiz and Wilder against Helenius. So both winners are to face each other for the final elimination and for the mandatory position in the WBC. Wilder is a tremendous fighter. He was the WBC champion for 5 years, defended the title 11 times. He drew with Fury, then he lost, and then he came back and lost again, but in a dramatic fight in which he had Fury down twice in the 4th round, one of the greatest heavyweight fights I have seen. Yeah. And Andy Ruiz is a tremendous fighter. He conquered glory when he knocked out Anthony Joshua, then got sidelined by the pleasures of becoming a real hero. But he's back. He had a tremendous outing against Ortiz, and it shall be a sensational match to have the winner to be the mandatory for the title.
Yeah, absolutely. Any information from PBC about when they want to stage the fight, or do they have to stage it by a certain date?
No, we will. Every weight category is going to be discussed on November 8th at the ratings. The ratings is in the morning. Then the mandatories will come later on. And as you have witnessed, it is an open floor discussion. Everybody can come up to the microphone and put their petition and their position. Then it is voted right there by the WBC board. So every division will be reviewed from strawweight to heavyweight, and we will have the final determination on that day for every single division.
Great, great. Looking forward to being there, and we'll do our best to provide blanket coverage of that rankings meeting because it is so fascinating. Tyson Fury, when you talk about him owing a mandatory? I know it's been, he hasn't had to for a while. Is there a date on when he has to stage his mandatory bout by?
Well, his last fight was a mandatory.
Yeah.
He defeated Dillian White in April. So right now he's in a voluntary stage, and the next mandatory is not until next year. So he's going to defend his title December 3rd in the UK against Chisora, which, by the way, I've heard a lot of fuss regarding that fight. But if we are real, if we are fair and just, Fury comes from 2 fights with Wilder, 1 fight with Dillian White. He did everything possible to do the fight against Anthony Joshua. Usyk was not available to fight in December, so he's taking a voluntary title defense, which everyone is entitled, and we have seen champions stay busy. So I'm very happy and proud of Tyson Fury. I will be there December 3rd, and there's so many great fights in the horizon in the heavyweight division.
When you talk about some of these accusations, are these people saying that you should have held his feet to the fire for a stiffer test?
Well, Chisora is ranked, and he has been a heavyweight contender who has held important fights with Joshua, with Dillian White, with Fury. So it's a fighter doing a voluntary defense, and the WBC is not a promoter, and we witnessed how our champion tried to give the best fight to the fans. And it was not because of his own fault, but the timing and the opponent unavailability. So I'm perfectly happy with sanctioning a voluntary title defense against a ranked fighter. And it should be a great event. It's sold out, or at least it sold 50,000 tickets the first day. Maybe it's already sold out. So that's something that you cannot ignore.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, the attention that Tyson Fury has received is very strong. I mean, I know you had conversations throughout, his whole back and forth of whether he's going to retire or not. Did you feel like you said anything to him that was influential toward keeping him in the sport?
Not necessarily. I believe that we have a sincere friendship, not only boxing, but we have been very close during the pandemic. We exchanged video calls and telephone calls, and he participated in some activations for the mental health. And I like him very much. I like his family, his wife, his father. We get along very well. And when he and I spoke and he said he was retiring, we fully supported him. It is the dream of the WBC and everyone who cares about the boxers to see a champion retire at their peak, physically, with health, with a mental health, with money, with a future. He can make a lot of money in sponsorship and in other activities, but we will support him and our fighters when they decide something. But he still got it, and he's going to continue fighting. And we support him 100%. He's young, and he has a bright future ahead.